One of the hardest things in dating is not jealousy, it is betrayal. It's when you realize he lied, he cheated, or he wasn't who he said he was. And in that moment, you feel hurt, confused, and sometimes even ashamed. So today I want to talk about how to deal with betrayal while dating for marriage, without losing your power and without losing your capacity for love. Let me give you a little context. This video is part of a series. In the first video, we talked about how to heal your own jealousy while dating for marriage. This means when you identify that you are too jealous, that you need to heal something related to it. In the second one, we talked about how to deal with jealousy from the person you are dating without becoming naive or reactive. But this is the third layer to this paradigm shift, which will help you go with your dating for marriage in the most successful way. What happens when it's not just insecurity, but actual betrayal? This is what we do today here. This is the third step of healing everything jealousy related in dating for marriage or in your early stages of marriage too. So when there are lies, manipulation, or lack of integrity, this is what we talk today. So let's be honest about what betrayal looks like. It's not confusion, it is not mixed signals. It is when a man tells you, for example, he's single and he's not. When he says he wants a relationship, a commitment, marriage, but only wants access. When he tells you everything you want to hear to get something from you. That is not misunderstanding. That is misalignment and lack of integrity. And no, your reaction to that is not drama. The behavior is the problem. But I'm not here just to point fingers at men or at women for this. Because if we truly want to create relationships based on respect, we also need to take responsibility, all of us. And this is where it can feel uncomfortable. Because many women are believing words without requiring any proof or any time. They are jumping to everything. They are trusting just potential instead of observing consistency. They are giving access, hoping it will lead to commitment. And this is one big issue. And I say this with love. If a man tells you he's single but doesn't show it, if he says he wants commitment and marriage but pushes for intimacy early, and you go along with it because you want a chance, you are just not just being hurt. You are participating in a dynamic that is allowing it. And this is why I teach dating for marriage. This is one of the reasons why I'm teaching this dating for marriage and why this is a big goal of mine to bring this knowledge to women who, like me, years ago, were not educated on this because our mothers thought, because they learned it from seeing their family, seeing their sisters, that we will also learn it like that. But times have changed because now instead of looking for role models in our close family, repeating the traditional patterns, we are looking for TV, movies, social media that is portraying a complete misunderstood way of relationships and marriage and betrayal and everything related to relationships in general. So, what does dating for marriage mean? You are not dating for attention, validation, or temporary connection. You are dating with intention. And for me, that also means something very clear. There is no physical intimacy until marriage, or at least until commitment. Until there's really an investment there, there is really something there, and you've checked everything really before that. Not as a rule to control yourself, but as a standard that protects your emotional, psychological, and spiritual well being. This is what filters of a huge percentage of men who are not aligned. This will really give you a huge first filter. Now, this is very important. Even if you do everything right, even if you have standards, even if you take your time, really wait, you can still experience betrayal. And that does not mean you failed. Don't take these things personal. That does not mean you should blame yourself. In fact, it is better that it happens with your standards in place because your standards reduce the damage and really reveal the truth faster. Because several times this happens, and if you don't reveal the truth faster, then it will repeat and repeat and it will happen again and again. But when it comes to the next step, healing, because betrayal is not just something that happens externally, it creates an internal environment, a memory, an emotional charge, a meaning about yourself. I'm not chosen, I'm not enough, I can't trust. And this is where I use a method I call my screen environment, where we work with the internal scene, the way your mind and body store the experience. And we regulate the nervous system, we separate facts from interpretation, and we work with neurolinguistics programming together with somatic body work, which I use together with performing arts techniques that I mix all together and created this system to really integrate body, speech, mind, to really integrate everything. Because if we are not aligned between those three, somehow our brain will keep thinking, will keep creating this reality, or our body if we are not connected to it. So we will repeat and repeat. So you don't carry that pain into your next connection. That is the goal of it all. That you don't carry that pain into your next connection, or if you decide to stay and heal with this person, that you don't carry it and again, because this is never the way. Because healing is not pretending it didn't happen. Healing is making sure you don't recreate it. If you don't change your standards, you will change the man, but not the pattern, actually. Different face, same dynamic. This is what you will get. So this is about not making exceptions, not rushing intimacy, observing consistency over time, dating for commitment, not confusion, and choosing men who are aligned with marriage from the beginning. You don't have to force it. This is never about men against women. This is about creating relationships based on truth, respect, and integrity. And that only happens when both sides rise. And if you haven't watched the first two videos in this series, I highly recommend you start there. Because healing jealousy and understanding dynamics is what allows you to truly apply what we talked about today. So here is my advice, that you do the real inner work that will take you to identify who this type of man is. So you learn how to filter it. So you have the speech coming from you to really filter when you talk to the men you are dating, that you know the right questions to ask, that you require proof of everything, that you see what this man is capable of giving and showing. Because let me tell you, when you go to a first date or a second date, you really bring your everything, you bring your best. I know you are a high achieving woman. I know you are giving it all to it and putting all to it. Otherwise, you would cancel. You have no time to waste. So, the least thing you can do is try and prove and see if he really qualifies and make that your statement. Make that your goal in all your dates from now on. See you in the next one.